Yo, greetings, people. Another Monday morning blues, but yeah, we definitely need to come back to you. People, I was fortunate enough over the weekend to speak to a group of black young people, just to be able to find out their experiences of being brought up by black parents. And it was really interesting. I will go straight to it. My role during that particular session was to be able to, get to understand their lived experiences, how things look like at home. And it was really, really interesting where, we started making a bit of joke, I'm from Africa, I'm from the Caribbean. Of course, there will be rice at home. Of course, my mommy will say, or my daddy will say, eat all your food. It was really interesting. We started by having fun, but it got to a point where, when we asked the young people, or when I asked the young people, what would you want your parents to change? That was the topic that really hit home for some of the young people. And it was really interesting where one of the young persons said to me, if you want me to be able to speak, then you need to promise me that you are not going to share these things with my parents. As a social worker, this made me panic. It's something that made me worry, or maybe ask myself, is this young person going to be making a disclosure? However, I gained the confidence, and it wasn't just myself and the facilitator for the training felt that we needed to give these young people the forum. We needed to give them that space for them to be able to share what was going on for them. And it was really interesting. Immediately, this young person said that, I would share on condition that you're not going to share these with my parents. And when we gave them the assurance that, yes, we would be able to, listen to them, but also organize another session where the parent would come together for us to be able to share anonymously what they exactly spoke. We had all the children speaking. And your guess is as good as mine if that is exactly what you guessed. Our children are saying, our mom and dad are not listening. Mom and dad are not being warm enough. If I go to school and have a very rough day, I come back home and I don't have the opportunity to speak to mom and dad about what went on at school because they haven't got time to listen. Whilst I was listening to this, for me as a parent, it really hit home hard. Because the reality is, if that is what one child is saying, and we've got 2 children, 3 children also saying, oh yeah, that's exactly happening in my home. I think it's really important for us to be asking ourselves as parents, that who do we want our children to be going to? If they are not able to speak to their teachers, if auntie is not living next door, if they haven't got the neighbors that they can confide in, who do we want our children to speak to? Let's continue to think about this. I never by any means came in to trick any parent. But for me, what we wanted to be able to do, and we will continue to do that, we will organize another session where these parents of the young people who actually attend these Saturday lessons or Saturday classes actually shared with us their worries about home life. We would organize a session and actually let them know what exactly their children spoke to us about. And if you are a black parent, what my question to you is, what would your children say about you in terms of your parenting? What do you think you wouldn't want them to share with other people in terms of your parenting? Do you think there are things that the children will not be able to share or may want from you as a parent? Obviously, we needed to be very clear, had a little bit of banter to say, yeah, parents will not be taking you on the next holiday because that's what you want. It's not about, buying the fluffy, trainers and everything. But the reality is, having that person that they could go to was one of the biggest things that they wanted to be spoken to their parents. Having that one person in terms of their parents where they can actually go to, have that emotional connection. That's what they felt they never had or they don't have. But what I will definitely say is it's not too late. We need to definitely by any means have the relationship with our young people. I'm never by any means suggesting that, Nana is the best parent out there, but it's also by a matter of listening and creating that space for them to be able to share what exactly their worries are. So if you are a parent out there, I will throw it to you. Have that forum, have that session with your son or your daughter, especially the teenagers, where they can share with you what exactly they may want you as a parent to do differently. Obviously, we may have ourselves as African parents or Caribbean parents, but the reality is that space where they call home, what makes them continue to come back to on a daily basis, that are able to meet their needs. Yes, they are able to be fed. Yes, they get their clothing. Yes, they've got their rooms. But the reality is, in terms of that emotional connection, what is it like? People, I'll leave it with you. This is just a brief one, but I can only share what the young people shared with me. Maybe I was privy to it, and possibly I work in that environment as well. So we needed to create that space for them. But if you are a parent out there, what do you think your children will be sharing about you? And if you think there may be things that they may not want you to hear them say directly, then it's about time you make that change as a parent. By creating that relationship with your children, by creating that space for them to be able to engage, so that when they go out there and things are really rocky for them, they would be able to come home all out and be able to let you know this is what exactly happened. People, my name is Nana Ese. I work as a social worker. I work with young people, and just like I said, this was an outcome following my session with young people over the weekend. If you think you would want us to be able to speak to your young people in schools, in groups, in churches, mosques, and all that, please get hold of us at Black Next Gen, and we'll be more than happy to support your young people. Share in a very safe space, but also appropriately, if the parent wants to learn as well, I think it will be ideal for us to be able to learn together and continue to be able to raise our next generation, who are our main target. People, respect to you, and I want you to leave this space wanting to be able to find out what would your children share about you. And if you are not a parent yet, what are some of the things that you would want, or you may have wanted your parents to change? Make sure you find somebody to talk to, and if you're happy to talk to us, reach out to us. It's Black Next Gen on all platforms. And thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to speak to your young people. Martin, thank you very much. And it was an honor meeting your great and amazing student. I look forward to meet their parents as well.